Start with Lynn Henning from the Detroit News.
Isaac, this caught you as a surprise or maybe not a surprise based on conversations with the Tigers?
I kind of had a good feeling about it. I kind of had a gut feeling that, I'd be a Tiger, and, it worked out in my favor, and, I'm excited to get going.
And what do you know about the organization?
Yeah. First of all, I know their development process and their development program is, second to none. I know they got a young group of guys, and, I'm just, really excited to, get in that group and compete and, hopefully, win a World Series.
What do you consider about the scouting prospects that say you're probably going to move to third base? I'm not sure if the Tigers have discussed with you a likely position. Maybe they've even talked with you about first base, although your arm, I would think, qualifies you more for long-term projection, left side infield, maybe even outfield. But have they talked about that in any detail with you?
Not yet. But for me, I feel like, if I can work hard enough and work, to the things I need to do, because I'm a big guy, and, if I can work to stay at shortstop, that's great. But, for me, I'm a guy who, can play anywhere in the field. And, I really use my stick as, my big thing. And, for me, I just, do anything to help my team win. So, whether that's playing third, short, or whatever the case might be, sure. I'm open to it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lynn. We'll go to Evan Petzl from the Detroit Free Press.
Hey, congratulations. Curious about the power potential that you have. When did that kind of start to develop for you, and when did you kind of find that as your niche?
Yeah, I think freshman year of high school is really when I, grew into my body. I started becoming, more mature, and I had a lot of power, but, with power, I had that consistency, where I can get power in the game, not just, during BP. And I think, pretty much every year, from freshman year, I kind of developed more into, a left-handed power hitter. And I kind of, got that, that good swing where I can, do it in the game, not just, during BP.
Also, too, what have you learned about just controlling the strike zone, kind of as a product of having that power? What have you learned about what you have to do, at the next level?
Yeah. Learning your zone, and, learning what you can handle. And I think it's a big key in, being an all-around hitter. For me as a hitter, I don't want to, just be a power guy. I want to be a guy that, can hit for average and, hit for power. So for me, cutting down the strikeouts, learning what pitches you can hit, is a big key in, cutting down the strikeouts. And, it's a big thing to, be an all-around hitter.
And also, too, just where this organization is going, does that make it feel a little bit better, knowing that you're going to a team that is pushing towards, making the playoffs and, getting to be there, and obviously with you being a guy who can maybe continue that for years to come? Just what does that feel like?
Yeah, like I said, I'm just so excited to, get in this, this good organization, like guys with, Torkelson and, Riley Green, and, try to, pick those guys' brains and, just try to help my team win a World Series in the future. That's all I'm really, focused on.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Evan. We'll go to Cody Stavenhagen from The Athletic.
Hey, Isaac, congratulations. Similar question. Just how do you think you improved from last summer up through this spring, where it sounds like you had a really nice spring and maybe did become more of a well-rounded hitter?
Yeah. I think I, worked, I sacrificed a lot, coming to the spring, and I really had to, learn my swing. Over the summer, I had some swing and miss concepts, and it kind of, led me to some strikeouts. And, over the spring, I cut down my strikeouts. I learned my swing. I, try to keep it as simple as possible. And I kind of, learned, what I needed to do to cut down the strikeouts, whether it's, learning what pitches I can swing, staying off that high pitch that a lot of guys are swinging at these days. And, just learning, my swing itself and, what I can do at the plate. And it's helped me a lot so far. So.
What was the process like to make those adjustments? Is there anyone in particular you worked with to kind of keep honing your swing?
Yeah. For me, over the past couple of years, I've learned that, in the future, I'm going to have to, work on my swing on my own. So I kind of, took that upon myself, I videoed pretty much every at bat of my high school career. And, I'd go back after that day of the game, and I'd, jot down some notes, seeing what I can do good, seeing what I did bad, and, just knowing what kind of adjustments I need to make. And that was a big key in my, success over the spring.
Okay. How did you kind of come up with that idea to study yourself on video, and who's taking that video?
Usually my mom or my dad, they'll take it and then send it to me after the game. And then I have a little notebook that I have, and I'll kind of, write down my thoughts of, what I think happened in the game.
Okay. Very interesting. And then, yeah, just what's it feel like to get drafted by a major league club?
Yeah. It's a great feeling, especially to know that I'm going to, one of the best organizations, in the game, in a team that, is looking on the right path, and, their development program is, awesome. So I'm just excited to, get going.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Cody. Go to Jeff Seidel from the Detroit Free Press.
Hey, thank you. If you could expand a little bit about the Tigers, you said you had a gut feeling. I don't know how it's working right now with the COVID thing. Did you have in-person stuff, or was it Zoom meetings with the Tigers? Did you try out for them in individual workouts, or just take me through that?
Yeah. I had some Zooms with them before the spring. And then I knew a lot of the Tiger scouts came to my high school games. So I think that was a big thing that, why I got drafted, is they got to see me over the spring.
And did you have a game where you were 5 for 5?
Yeah, it was actually in the playoff game. I had 10 RBIs, so that was a pretty cool experience.
I was watching the video of that. It seemed like you showed off a whole bunch of different aspects, everything from some long ball to just getting on base. Going back to what Cody was asking about, when you study yourself, when you look at that 5 for 5 day, what do you think you showed?
I think I showed that I'm an all-around hitter. We were, down 2 in the bottom of the first inning, and a guy on second and third. And I didn't want to get too big. I wanted to, hit a little single, and I, ended up scoring 2. So it was tied 2-2. And I think that shows my hitability, and then I knew that, fifth inning, we were down a little bit, and, we needed some runs, and I ended up, hitting a 3-run home run. So I think it just shows, my maturity at the plate, and I know what I need to do to help my team win. I'm not a selfish player where, I want to, hit the long ball every single time. I want to, do anything to help my team win.
Very cool. Do you know if the Tigers were at that game?
I'm not sure. They might have been, but I'm not sure.
Cool. Thanks. Congrats.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff. Go to Travis Brown.
Hi, Isaac. I'm with the Bryan College Station Eagle. How close were you with the old Texas A&M coaching staff as well as the new staff? And then what did it mean to you to at least get one game in Bluebell Park?
Yeah. The old coaching staff, I committed to A&M pretty early. So I had a really good relationship with all those guys, Childress, Seeley. And then, with the coaching change, it's part of college baseball. This past year was a big, that's really what happened, in college baseball. There's a lot of, coaching changes, and that new coaching staff that came in, I think they developed, one of the best coaching staffs in the country with, Schlossnagle, Coach Early, who had, Torkelson down at Arizona State. So it was a great coach staff. And then, getting to play at Bluebell in the playoff game, that was a pretty surreal experience, especially because we had, a couple thousand fans, because Texas high school baseball is crazy now. So I think, playing there and, getting to, play under the 12th man was, a cool experience.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Thanks, Travis. Go to Jason Bristol from KHOU.
Hi, Isaac. Jason from KHOU in Houston. I know your high school season didn't end the way you had hoped. Because the draft was so much farther out, did it leave you a lot of time, or maybe too much time, to kind of dwell on how the season ended, and what kind of things have you done since your season ended? Yeah.
It definitely wasn't, the way we wanted to go out, but for me, I like to think, positive out of things. So I kind of took it as a positive thing. We had a great run. So it was a fun. I had some of the best memories I'll ever have, playing baseball. So it definitely, stunk a little bit, but I took a couple of days off, just to, really think about it. And then I got back to work. I really just, started working out, training, and, getting ready for, whatever was to come next.
All right, thanks, Jason. Any other questions for Isaac? All right, looks like all we have. Isaac, thanks for the time. Congratulations again.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
All right.
Thank you.
We'll see everybody later.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thanks again, Chad.
Yeah.